Hello everyone, this is the Mind of Love and welcome to another Open Mind Intuitive Tarot message. This is a general message for the collective and I'm going to be pulling on the energies that are surrounding you guys, my watchers, my subscribers. I want to see what Spirit has to say for you all at this time. Okay, Spirit guides and divine messengers, what important message do we have for the collective, for my audience, for my subscribers? What do they need to know? Advice, guidance, wisdom. Okay, let's try this again. Being called to pull this out. Tree of Life. Fertility, creativity, destiny, magical blessings. Jupiter is currently in Cancer. There's a new moon conjunction in Cancer, which is in domicile, and we also have the sun in Cancer. So there is a stellium in the sign of Cancer, representing family, traditions, foundations, home, ancestry, your memories, your emotions, your instincts, your intuition even. And here, you guys are planting seeds or harvesting. Depends on what cycle you're in. So if you are a Gemini rising, right? Or even, I would say a Libra rising or an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising sign, right? If you're one of those signs, then Cancer is in one of your earth houses, the 6th, the 2nd, or the 8th houses. So if you have been doing the work for the past 12 months or even for longer than that, you'll start to see some seeds bearing fruit or trees bearing fruit. If you are a Cancer, sun, moon, or rising sign, a Scorpio or Pisces, sun, moon, or rising sign, you are planting seeds. And so you're planting seeds for prosperity, success. I'm looking at sort of like this totem. We have the heart chakra here, a cross representing stability, this looks like an ankh actually. Stability, everlasting life. This is the symbol for the it's a fertility symbol representing the womb, the ovaries, and the urethra, or the birth canal for women. Then we have the infinity symbol, the star, and the peace symbol here. So some of you guys are healing your relationship with your family, and thus healing your relationship with yourself, and thus healing your relationship with money. So there's this cascading domino effect of you doing the work to repair or to work through generational traumas. And those generational traumas may have affected your prosperity, your health, your confidence, your ability to manifest. Magical blessings. There are some manifestations coming through for you guys. Tree of Life, fertility, creativity, destiny, magical blessings. You're aligning with your purpose in some way. So it's almost like someone who's been doing the same thing for, I don't know, years or decade, but for some reason now what you're doing is producing results. So you were planting seeds or cultivating a garden, and you're starting to see those ideas, those opportunities, those experiences, that abundance blossom and grow. So this is a good time period for you guys. You're either planting seeds or you are harvesting at this time. Okay? Depending on your house placements. Let's continue with which deck should I choose next? I will choose this deck. Spirit guys, please continue this message and align with the energies of my audience and the collective. Those who are open to the message, let them hear it Let them receive it. Let them attract it. Let them understand. What is the energy of the collective? Or important messages for the collective? We have mistakes, misunderstood, victim, and lost soul. This is like, again, dealing with generational traumas, generational curses, working through them. The full moon is here, which represents a culmination of a cycle. The full moon is going to be Capricorn, which isn't debilitation. But Capricorn does also represent family, legacy, the patriarchy, father figures, history, tradition. So some of you guys were perpetuating dysfunctional and self-sabotaging or self-destructive behaviors due to your childhood conditioning, and you're seeing that now. People don't usually think that they've made a mistake until they're aware that they've made a mistake, right? So if someone thinks they're doing the right thing, they won't change their behavior. But people will only recognize mistakes when the outcomes of their behavior don't match their intentions. So there may have been a misalignment with the actions you've taken, or the steps you've taken, or the things you've done, and what you were trying to accomplish. And then you'll see, okay, there was a mistake in my perception, in my attitude towards it, in my behavior, in my approach to the situation. And you can, so it's like the way you reacted and responded to something was a product of your conditioning. So you didn't know any better. Now you do know better. You do know where you're making mistakes in your life when it comes to your career, your relationships, your family dynamic, your finances, and so on. So this is a sort of a leveling up, becoming more mature, even, and becoming aware of where you've made mistakes, which is a good thing, because now you can correct them and thus manifest your abundance. Right now you're in alignment, so you're seeing what you've done wrong or how you've been wrong. Okay, karma. Yep. Consequences, cause and effect, debt. So what you were, the actions you've taken that may not have aligned with your intentions. This is like somebody who says, I love you so much, but their love language is pain and abuse. And they won't know that they've made a mistake until they've lost you, right? Or the relationship is irreparably damaged. And some of you guys, this is Saturn energy. The moon in Capricorn, Saturn. The full moon coming up soon, but within the next 2 weeks, you'll see where you've made mistakes. You'll become aware of those mistakes, because you'll have to do something again, or repeat a mistake, or repeat something over, do something over. This could be a relationship, this could be a career path, this could be writing a book, this could be something. You're realizing or recognizing where you're flawed in your thinking, or your actions are contradictory to the outcomes you're looking for. And so you have to do something over again, and you have the opportunity to correct those mistakes. So this is a good thing. And the correction is going to lead to abundance. This is more so like, I would say the water signs. Maybe even the air signs, because it deals with the earth houses. So the karma could be many things. It could be a loss of a job. It could be a loss of a relationship. But you're going to see where you've made mistakes. I don't think it's bad, though. I think this is you like restarting something, reaching out to someone who you've known in the past, trying to repair relationships and to heal. I don't see this as a bad thing, like, you're in trouble. No, I see you'll have the opportunity to see where you've made mistakes, and you'll have a chance to fix them and repair broken bonds and repair, your thought processes, and to relearn certain things so that you can become more abundant. I'm not seeing this as like a loss. I'm seeing this as a reorganization, a restructuring, a pivoting, so on. Okay. Curse. Yep. Hex, witchcraft, negative mind. Yes. This is what you're becoming aware of. But the curse is not necessarily hoodoo, voodoo. It's more so child conditioning that cause you to do things that are self-destructive. And you're becoming aware of that. You're becoming aware of it. Negative mind means that there's like pessimism, or there's guilt or regrets or sadness or grief. You're becoming aware of the mistakes you've made in terms of, like, when it comes to your family or relationships. You're becoming aware of it. And now you want to break the curse. The curse is about to be broken. Because you'll have an opportunity to repair relationships or correct mistakes you've made. I'm not seeing this as negative. It sounds negative. It looks negative. It's not that. I think this is where you were, and this is like the circumstances and the situations you were in that caused you to make mistakes. But the negative mind was a curse. It was putting a hex on you. It's like somebody who sabotages themselves. Someone who does the opposite of what you need to do to get what you want. You say you want love, but you're acting like a womanizer or a cheater. You say you want stability, but you create chaos around you, right? You say you want peace, but you're not at peace within yourself. There could be in conjunction here. It could be an opposition, but there's the moon's afflicted. The moon's afflicted in some way. And now you're healing it. Jupiter in Cancer is giving you the opportunity to heal your moon. So this is good. You're going to repair what's been broken. Memories. Right. You're thinking about the mistakes you've made, and you're realizing that those mistakes were a product of your conditioning. It wasn't because you're evil or wicked or you're cursed. In some cases, curses do that, but I'm seeing that in this case is not that. This is all Cancer energy. Memories, cursing, it's all moon energy. Mistakes, karma, moon in Capricorn, moon in Cancer, all moon stuff. Reminiscing, dwelling, bittersweet. And the bittersweetness is the realization that you've made lots of mistakes because you were not raised correctly, or because you were, affected by trauma, and so on and so forth. So it's actually a blessing. It's the blessing. Running, ghosting, disappearing, invisible, and stress. You were doing this in the past. You're running away from this energy, or you're, hold on. Some of you guys could be conflict avoidant. So you're not confronting something about yourself. Running from the truth. Ghosting, disappearing, invisible. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Shout out to Radiohead. Just because you see it or doesn't mean it's there, or just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. This is you running from your past, or running from yourself, running from the pain and the trauma. And because you're running from something, you keep running back into it and making mistakes because you can't see that the way you react and respond to situations is based on how you were raised. So it's like these are instinctual, impulsive, subconscious or unconscious behaviors. That's the moon, not the sun. There's no sun in these cards. The sun is being blocked. So your light is being blocked. Self-awareness is being blocked. Was being blocked. I think that is healing with the full moon. Because the full moon is in full illumination. And with the full illumination, you become aware of how you have been running from yourself, running from your destiny, running from your mistakes, running from accountability, in a sense of like not wanting to change, to make things different. You're going to fix that now. This is actually really positive. It looks negative because, we have a skull here and stress. No, that's not it. You were always in this state. You were already here, right? This is not coming to you. This is where you've been. And because this is where you've been, you've made mistakes. You felt cursed. You've had pessimism. You've been depressed. You've, were conflict avoidant. You may have felt unsafe, unprotected, and you've done things to sabotage yourself. And you're starting to see that. You'll see it by the new moon, by the full moon in Capricorn. You'll see it. Something about you is being illuminated. Depends on where Capricorn is in your chart. This could be the 7th house for Cancer risings, Cancer suns. This could be, the 8th house for Gemini risings and suns. It depends. But this revelation is necessary to create new life, because you can't keep doing this. There's a repetitive cycle of making the same mistakes, doing the same things, and expecting different results. Now you're shifting and changing. You're shifting and changing. Now, where is this person running to? They don't know where they're going. This is where you are, and this is like the context. This is how you got here, making mistakes and running from them. So you'll be fine. Spirit guide needs some more insight for the collective. Thank you so much for your support. There's going to be some adjustments that are made, but you have to do things differently. And I think you're taking accountability for your role in your own unhappiness, not just by blaming your parents or blaming your circumstances, but actually understanding how your coping mechanisms was a part of the dysfunction that was creating this chaos in your life. And now you're ready to attract abundance. Spirit guides, I need some more context, please, for the collective. Let me move this over. Let me move this. Spirit guides, let's go. Thank you very much for your support, Spirit guides. I need some more information and insight for the collective. King of Pentacles, Taurus energy. Now the moon is exalted in Taurus. This is stability. This is the tree of life. Stability, growth, prosperity. And you're learning how to do this by healing your inner child. You have the Four of Swords here as well. Resting, relaxation, seeing things differently after a period of like respite. This could be depression even, in some cases. But now you're seeing things differently with the Four of Swords, which represents like thinking, communications, your thought processes, and so on. So you're seeing things from an objective point of view, and you're going to go from the Page to the King. Now you're taking ownership of your energy and becoming more prosperous. I mentioned the air signs earlier and the water signs. Mainly air and water. This is Earth. What's going on with Earth signs? Mainly Capricorn, probably Capricorn or even Taurus. I mean, this could be for anybody, to be honest, because these are general readings. But those signs are the most prevalent. Okay, let's continue with this, Spirit guides. King of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. This could be a father figure, and this could be you as a child. Forgiving your father figure or healing your divine masculine energy. A king is an administrator. A king manages the society, the kingdom, the family, the culture, the community. So this is you learning how to manage your finances better, or manage your energy so you can attract more finances or manifest in a 3D. You're focusing on your money now, and you're realizing that there are certain things you were saying or doing or thinking that was blocking that manifestation. Let us continue. 10 of Wands, 5 of Cups, and the Chariot. Cancer energy, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. The Fool card, whole new beginnings, new moons. The Empress, absolutely, abundance, prosperity, success. This is where you're heading with the Chariot card. And the Four of Swords again wanted to pop out because you're changing your perspective about your behavior, your attitude. You're putting down the burdens. So this 10 of Earth is like the psychological and or emotional and or physical baggage that you have accumulated within your body energetically. You're stressed or overextended in some way. You can't manifest because there's too much going on. You're not focused, or you haven't been focused. And you haven't been focused because your heart has been broken. And so you're trying to stay busy to avoid dealing with the pain of some sort of loss from childhood that has repeated in adulthood. So some loss you experienced as a child has trained you to cope with things or react and respond to things that are self-destructive. It's attachment avoidant behavior. Separation anxiety. 5 of Cups in the Chariot. Going from fear and regret to like having a sense of purpose. Because you've had time to rest and see things differently. You've taken time away from your job or your relationship. You spent time alone to like really reflect on what's been going on. And now you're going to make different changes. If you see here, I don't see the Death card. I don't see the 7 of Swords. I don't see the 10 of Swords. I don't see any of the really negative cards here, except the 5 of Water. But that's more so like emotional baggage. That's what I meant earlier, right? This is not negative. This is you becoming aware that your life is not the way you want it to be because of the way you were raised or your experiences as a child, which were probably very traumatizing, and you've dissociated your actions from the consequences of your actions. It's like somebody who becomes a murderer but doesn't understand that if you kill somebody you're going to go to jail. There's some dissociation here, which is the in conjunction, and you're becoming aware of that with this full moon, either through memories. I'm not seeing this as like something actually happening to you. I see this as you remembering through a dream or some sort of deja vu that this is why this is going on, and you're not going to run this time. You're going to fix it. The Chariot and the 4 of Swords, the Fool and the Empress, because you want abundance, you want happiness, you want peace, you want glory, you want success. You don't want to keep running from whatever this ghost or goblin or secret is anymore. Another oracle card. Let me see. It's kind of short today for me. It's 22 minutes. I'm going to do a reading for the state of Israel also and the state of Iran separately. After this week, I'll have a lot more time to devote to my channel. Okay. I'm also putting out a book and my own deck of cards. Oracle cards. Spirit guides, more advice, please. No, I didn't want this deck, but I guess I gotta deal with this one too. I'll keep this because I wasn't intending on taking this one, but for some reason I might have to. We'll see. Spirit guides, what message do we have for the collective as it pertains to their current circumstances, what they need to do, how they can heal, what needs to be released at this time? We have time to play, your inner child. Make time to dance and play. Way of faith. Let faith be your guide. And there's a lack of trust here. Because the trauma is almost like, again, some of you guys have developed really dysfunctional or negative or self-sabotaging behaviors. Because you don't trust anybody. You don't want to be vulnerable. You're scared. You may be paranoid. So you run. You don't have faith that things can get better. You did not. I think you are feeling better now. Jupiter does represent faith, especially Jupiter in the 12th house. So you guys may have a Leo, someone arising to. Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. Time to play. Make time to dance and play. Capricorn doesn't do that. And Cancer doesn't really play either. Cancer is like the mother, the maiden, the crone, the Jezebel even. She doesn't, it's not a playful energy. Cancer is too serious. I did a poll on my community section like last year, and I asked what was the most fun sign to be around. There were no water signs selected. Everybody selected fire signs or air signs. So no water, no earth. So yeah, Cancer is not really fun. I'm not saying Cancer personally, but the sign itself is not about fun. It's about responsibility, right? Breastfeeding is not necessarily fun. Giving birth isn't necessarily fun. Being pregnant is not fun for the most part. So that's not what this is. But it's like you're giving birth to something new and you're going through some sort of birthing pains. But a part of the birthing pains is you recognizing or realizing where you've made mistakes in the past that have brought you to this position in the first place. So now you're giving birth to something new, and you're giving that new child a better environment, a better circumstance, a better situation to grow in. So it's almost like someone receiving or winning the lottery, right? But they were mentally ill and they were on drugs. Instead of investing that money or spending that money wisely, they spend it all on drugs and destroy themselves. Versus someone who receives a lot of money and they're because their mind is right and they've healed, they can now spend that money in a way that aligns with their intentions and the life that they want to live. So they're more conscious. You're becoming more conscious and aware of life in general and your role within your own life. You're connecting with yourself more and your own divinity even. Some of you guys may suffer from shame, insecurity again, fear. Okay, we have, am I consistently showing up? And we have, are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Are you stalling, freezing, or giving up? The juicy secret is that you are the boss of your fear. You are unstoppable. Chariot and the Fool and the Empress card. Also the King of Pentacles, even though he's a fixed earth sign. But it's up to you to see that by taking action. And some of you guys may have been taking actions that were just like busy work, but not really intentional. You have to set your intentions and then act upon those intentions with clarity. I'm going to get another advice card after this. Today, be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear and move through it. You are in need of a hero, so that is who you will become. You're going to become your own hero. I'm going to do the mystical shaman oracle because it seems to be relevant for this message today. We'll see what Spirit has to say. Thank you so much, divine energies, spirit guides, my messengers. I need some cards for the collective. Just one card that would further elucidate this message, give some clarity for the collective. The Coyote, number 12, 2 and 1 is 3. That is Jupiter, the sun and the moon, full moon. By the full moon, you'll see what's going on. By the full moon, there should be some sort of manifestation or a confirmation you're on the right path. I don't see you being punished. This is not a punishment. This is a becoming aware. And the awareness may be painful because you made mistakes, but you'll have the opportunity to course correct and do things differently. The very sacred animal, number 12. We'll see what the deck says, what the book says about this deck. Where is the deck? Now, where's the book? Sorry. Number 12. So we have Jupiter and Sun and Moon together, which is also in Cancer. And Jupiter's in Cancer. This is Jupiter, Cancer, Sun energy, all of it. Okay, Sun, Moon, and Jupiter in Cancer. So we have the Coyote, number 12. The essence. The coyote is the symbol of the sacred trickster, the one who provides detours for growth and understanding by ensuring that things don't go as planned. And things have not been going as planned because you were acting with the wrong intention or your actions did not align with your intentions. So no matter how hard you worked, no matter how good of a girlfriend you were or boyfriend you were, no matter how right things seemed to you, you were doing it the wrong way because you were not raised or trained or taught how to do things differently. The coyote brings the energy of divine deception to set you free from the shackles of that which does not serve you. The Fool card, right? Sometimes it appears that you will get everything you want, only to find that the coyote brings you the opposite of what you hoped for. Why are you getting the opposite of what you hoped for? Because you wanted something with the wrong intentions, or your actions didn't align with the outcome. So this is like somebody saying, I want to be happily married, but they lie to their husband or wife to get with them, to get what they want. I want to be in a relationship with you, but you keep cheating on the person you want to be with because you're afraid of being cheated on. So there's something that's distorted or warped here. You're doing the opposite of what you want. You're doing the opposite of what you need to do to get what you want. The lessons offered by the coyote may first appear confusing with mistakes and karma and curse and running. It appears to be bad, but it's actually for your highest good. But they are most sacred and always for your highest good. Yes. Didn't I say the coyote is the most sacred animal? If the coyote calls to you, this is a time to pay special attention to detours and disappointment, as they are true tests of faith. And it mentions the way of faith. And I mentioned earlier, you have to do something over again. You're repeating something over again. A lesson you didn't learn a few years ago or a few months ago or whatever, or a lesson you've been repeating throughout your whole life about giving too much, trusting the wrong people, being too generous, being too naive or oblivious, being afraid of setting boundaries and walking away when things aren't right, like stuff like that. You're repeating the same mistake, but you're doing it this time with some more wisdom. So now you don't see it as a punishment, you see it as an opportunity to do things differently and do it better. It's almost like someone who did not raise their children well, in their early 20s or teens or late teens, and then they get pregnant by mistake in their 40s, right? Mid 40s. And then now, instead of being like, oh my God, this is horrible, they see that unexpected pregnancy as an opportunity to like redo things differently and be a better parent to that child, something like that. So it's like something that's negative is actually positive, because now you can change the outcome or change the story. So the beginning of the story doesn't have to be the end of the story, because you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do things differently. You're changing the story, the narrative in some way. Even though you're going through the same situation, you're going to react and respond differently, and thus achieve a different outcome. That's the blessing. That's actually really, really nice. You have set your intentions, and I mentioned that more than once, and turned them over to the Great Spirit, yet you may find yourself lost and confused, running off the path leading to your most cherished dreams and desires. Remember this. Coyote is a sacred trickster and may be leading you into challenges to ensure that you are ready to handle what you've set in motion. Neptune in Aries and Saturn in Aries is making a square to Jupiter and the Sun and the Moon. Okay? So the squares of Neptune, even the conjunctions and oppositions, do represent like misunderstandings, disillusionments, deception, things slipping away from you. What was once secure all of a sudden it evaporates. This is not for you to lose faith. Whatever you were trying to hold on to wasn't meant for you anyway. And I think you're going to see that now, because you've been through this before. It's like in the past you may have like dated a guy and things were going great, and then he just disappeared, and then you went to a deep depression or self-destructive behavior in some way. Instead of doing that this time, if he walks away from you or she walks away from you, You want to pivot and actually focus on yourself and basically learn from that experience and transmute that energy into something more positive. This is actually a blessing. So it's something being repeated for you guys. Great growth and understanding come to you when Coyote calls your name. Remember, this is the first card, Tree of Life. This is a lush tree with lots of leaves. It's tall, it's strong, it has fruits. Yes, these are fruits or something like that within this tree. So this is the overarching theme of this message. This is where you are, right? Because you wouldn't be here if you weren't already here. This is not going to happen. This is what's already happened and where you may be currently, but this is not where you're going. You're going towards the Empress and the Chariot card. The medicine. Are you being seduced by what you think you desire? Could it be that the more superficial, sparkly, shiny aspects of your ambition lead you to this moment? So that could be a job or a person, right? Perhaps you feel that in order to get what you desire, you have to compromise yourself, control others, or manipulate situations to ensure your goal is met. I want to be happily married, so I'm going to lie to my husband or my future husband to get what I want. Coyote howls in the shadows to remind you that this may be a lesson too painful to learn. Beware the shallow waters right now. So why do you want this thing? Why do you want this money or this career, this opportunity? Why are you really upset, right? Do you want to live a life of meaning and not just superficial vanity trinkets that lose value or lose their luster after a few months, weeks, or days? You want to live a deeply fulfilling life. So you guys may have been pursuing something, a goal, a relationship based on vanity and based on some sort of trauma. So the vanity could be because of the trauma, like wanting money to stunt on other people, to brag and show off. And that's not, wanting money isn't bad, but why do you want that money? Your intentions for pursuing financial success could also be your downfall. So the whys you're chasing the money could be the whys you lose it or why you don't have it anymore, right? So you have to make sure you set good intentions. Something or someone might pretend to be deep. Neptune square the sun, Neptune square the moon. But that doesn't make them so, no matter how seductive their superficial traits and how beautiful or sparkly they appear. All that glitters will not turn up gold, no matter how many wishes you make to change that. And I mentioned earlier, just because you see it doesn't mean it's there. Just because you see an opportunity as like your salvation doesn't mean that's what it'll be. So something is right within your reach and it's snatched from you. Right as you start to like salivate over it, it's right there. You're so close, but then it disappears because it was an illusion. And the feelings that you're experiencing as a result of that dissolution and that dissolution, but also, okay, so I'm seeing dissolution like DISSOLUTION, but also disillusion as DISILLUSION. So those are homophones. Those are homophones. They sound the same, but they spell differently, have different meanings. So dissolution and dissolution. Disillusionment being like changing of perspective, seeing things clearly in a way that may feel negative, right? Seeing the reality of a situation that you thought that was really good, but it was actually bad for you. But I want you to process those emotions. Don't just run away from them and say, oh, F it. Don't do sour grapes. right? Just think about why you were hedging your bets or so attached to the outcome of whatever this is. It could be a job or career, and that will give you some indication about what this is that you're running from and what mistake you keep making in pursuit of that, in pursuit of a goal that you cannot, for some reason you can't attain it. It's like slipping through your fingers every time. You guys would have Neptune in one of your earth houses or in the angular aspects and the angles of your chart. Angular houses, 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th. Okay? Hold on one second. I have to turn off the stove. Okay. I'm being compelled to get one more card. I'm going to do the finances and purpose card, or purpose and career deck. Let me see. Let me see. Wow. That had to fall. We'll see what's going on with this situation. Finances or purpose and career. Okay. Not my favorite deck, but I think it'll get the job done for this reading. Spirit guides, more context please for the collective. More context for the collective. Okay, we have communicate. Sharing your voice to speak your truth will show your authenticity and expression. You have a talent in the communication field. Are you guys not sharing your literary skills, your singing abilities, your public speaking abilities with the world? Are you not? How are you communicating with yourself? How do you communicate with yourself? What do you tell yourself? What do you say to yourself whenever you want to do something new? What's the first thing that pops up in your mind when you say, I want to get that big, nice house. I want to drive that car. I want to get this job with this man. What's the first thing you hear? Because she has the cell phone up to her ear. So listen to the way you communicate with yourself, and that will give you an indication of what you're running from or why you keep making the same mistakes, or how you're making those mistakes. One more, please. One more, please. Actually, as a matter of 2 more cards. 2 more. Okay, we have assets. Your investments are growing fast. The new moon becomes the full moon in Capricorn. It is an earth moon, but it's debilitated. Uranus will still be in Taurus, making a trine to this moon. But the next 2 weeks, I have to double check and see what the planets are in earth signs. I gotta double check. But assets. If you have not tried investing yet, even in yourself, this is the right time. Your future promises long-term stability. This is the new moon reading, okay? So start planting the seeds now. I mentioned earlier, if you have air sign, sun, moon, and rising signs, then this could also indicate a growth of your resources or your assets, okay? All right, and I'm going to get one more. One more, because this is also relevant to you guys. What is blocking you? That's the name of this deck. It's usually for relationships, but this could also apply to other areas of your life. Okay. Spirit guides, what is blocking the collective from manifesting their intentions and what they want? What's blocking them? Retreating. Your fear of being hurt has made you retreat. It's time to get out and try again. Conflict avoidant. The curse, running, mistakes. karma. Your fear of being hurt. I think I mentioned the fear earlier. And that's a part of the curse. This could be something that runs in a family legacy, a family narrative, a family tradition, a family custom, a family ideology, a family just dynamic. This fear instilled, age issues, self-neglect, and anxiety. You're afraid to get close to someone. They are scared too. Give them a chance, okay? Conflict avoidant again, or separation anxiety, or attachment avoidant. Self-neglect. You're neglecting your own needs and relationships. Practical self-care. And once you lose this person, you might lose someone. Not to death, no. They might just disappear, like they never existed. Okay, so while you were with this person, or while you were at this job, right? And you were dealing with this dynamic, with this individual or your career, whatever. How did you feel? Like truly, like how did you feel? Were you happy to go to work? Were you anxious at work? Were you trying to prove something? Do you have imposter syndrome? When you're in relationships, do you give too much or overgive or overextend yourself to prove that you're lovable? This thing is disappearing from your life. It's like it comes to some sort of natural end. Like it just fades into the abyss or to the void as if it never happened. But the purpose of that experience was for you to feel those feelings and to imagine or visualize what happiness feels like if you were to get this job or to marry this person. So you're connecting with the outcome through the emotional longing for this experience. So this person is making you feel the way you want to feel. This job is making you feel the way you want to feel, but the job can't make you feel that way. The idea of the job or the idea of the person or the idea of whatever you're going through, the idea of like accomplishing that goal or the idea of, I don't know, getting with that person or whatever. The idea of that goal was aligning you energetically with the outcome, but it is also aligning with your intentions, but your actions in line with it. So it's like, okay, I want to feel successful. I want to feel accomplished. I want to feel safe and secure, but I don't act that way. I have imposter syndrome. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of losing this person. So I'm overextending myself so that they won't leave me. But they leave anyway. And I have nothing left. So now I'm drained and overextended. There's a lesson here because you've gone through this before. And it's like you're doing something. It's almost like with the Cancer energy, with the moon. One of the shadow manifestations or expressions of the moon is like codependency. Overextending yourself, giving too much of yourself, and then having an empty vessel or an empty cup, right? Thinking that in order to love your children, you have to neglect yourself. So in order to be a good employee, you have to suffer and work extra long hours to prove that you're competent. In order to be a good husband or wife, you got to be their slave. Something like that, where you're neglecting yourself and you're sabotaging yourself and you're mistreating yourself because of the idea of what this represents to you. And that idea is making you feel something that you're not currently feeling, not because you haven't obtained what you're looking for, but because you're not in that state naturally. So even if you got this job or this relationship, you'll still feel miserable. You'll still feel cursed. And now you're trying to prove yourself. It's like getting the man or woman of your dreams, and now I'm thinking you're too ugly to keep them. There's something wrong with me. I'm not ugly. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm whatever. I don't have enough money. But you scammed and schemed and lied and oversold yourself to get with this person because the idea of them was worth doing all that. But once you get them, you can't sustain it. You'll become insecure because you think they're too good for you. So you'll get burnt out. This has to go away. This has to be taken away from you. And it won't be done violently. It'll come to a natural end. You'll see it coming because you've dealt with this before. More than once you've dealt with this. More than once. So you're not being punished, you're being taught a lesson. And this time you will learn from that lesson. And you won't see it as a punishment, you'll see it as a blessing. Oh, I see now, I understand. Saturn is also about lessons. And Saturn is square the moon. So this is like emotional deprivation or feeling of insecurity that teaches you to be self-sufficient. Right? This job or this relationship should not have been the source of your happiness or your security. That's the issue. And the pain or the sadness or the whatever you're feeling, the negative emotions that you feel by losing whatever this is it's a part of the lesson. Now you'll see, oh, that's why I feel sucky. This job loss didn't make me feel sucky. Or this relationship loss didn't make me feel. It's not that. I've always felt sucky. I've always felt like I wasn't good enough. I've always been depressed. Da da da. You'll start to see that now, and then you'll fix it and get to this point of being abundant. Do I need another deck? I love it when all the messages align, so I'm just being a little greedy right now. Get one more, an angel number oracle card. A little greedy. One more. Thank you, Spirit, for your support. I gotta put all these cards away in different decks. Thank you, Spirit, for your support. What advice do we have for the collective, please? Angel numbers, spirit guides, angel numbers for the highest good of my audience and my subscribers. For their highest good. Oh, hold on. Age issues. You feel too old or young to date or have issues with your partner's age. Okay. That could be you feeling like, it's like you dating somebody 20 years younger than you and so-called out of your league and scheming and lying to get with them, and then when you get them, you can't keep up. Or you feel like you're not good enough. So you start to abuse this person because you're afraid of losing them because you lied to get them in the first place. You lied about how much money you made. You lied about your living situation. You lied about your intentions, something. Or many different things. So yeah. One card, please, for the collective. And then I'm done. I'm going to eat my dinner. 12 again. We had number 12 earlier. This is Jupiter and the Sun and Moon. 1, 2, 1, 2, 21, 12. Sun, Moon. This is Sun, Saturn. Sun, Saturn. This is Venus. Commitment, loyalty, responsibility, truth. Oh, this is 12 also. 1, 2, 1, 2. This is a full moon energy. By the full moon, you'll see what's going on. And I think you're going through this already. This loss may have already happened, or it's going to happen soon. And by the full moon, you'll understand why it had to happen, because you'll be on a different trajectory. And at this point, you'll pivot to more success. Okay? Or more alignment. Loyalty, responsibility, truth, love, light, spiritual realm, growth, solutions. Applying honesty and light daily is a fast track to creating a peaceful and meaningful life. It is how you find solutions and comfort. Release worries by speaking your truth. Communicate and expressing your emotions regularly. Jupiter and Cancer. Open up, for the best is yet to come. Be honest with yourself about how you're feeling about your life. And why you're disappointed. Or why you feel hopeless. Or why you're afraid. Be honest about that. 12. Persistence. Shift, enthusiasm, gratitude, contentment, new experiences, new moon. A shift in perspective. Being grateful that you were taught this lesson in a very gracious, merciful way. Oh, happy day and ample opportunity, Jupiter and Cancer, related to your life's purpose is just around the corner. Now, with Saturn square Jupiter, opportunities will come after a sacrifice or loss. You can't have both with the square. Okay? The trine, maybe. The opposition, no. The conjunction, no. But the squared, no, definitely not. You have to let go of something in order to have room or space for something better and bigger. Take immediate action once it pops up. Of course, a lovely partnership or an epic romance is also in the cards. So you guys have been praying for love, a husband, a wife, and then they're on your doorstep and you're like, oh my God, am I ready? Am I ready? I'm too whatever, right? Now you'll have to reflect on those emotions and then heal that so you don't sabotage this again. You've done it before. 2112. It's up to you. Someone watching over you. Good fortune. Unforeseen forces, courtesy of Neptune and even Uranus if you're like a fixed sign. Direction. Even if it seems like you're not making any meaningful process with this mistakes and karma card, repeating the same mistakes over and over again, not making any movement, no motion. Things are moving in the right direction. If you see this number, it's a sign that everything will work out in your favor and your dreams will come true soon. But with the Coyote card, your dreams coming true won't look the way you expect it to look. So whatever you may have been dreaming about, or whomever, if you were too specific and the opportunity doesn't look exactly the way you expected it, you may reject it. So you have to be more flexible, okay? A little flexible. 1818, willpower. Achievement, success, striving forward, prosperity, go-getters, courage, luck, Jupiter and Cancer again. Wow, significant events are on the cards for you. You will progress in your endeavors and gain new experiences. The right people and resources will be put on your path. An excellent proposal or change is coming up. You're destined for greatness, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to close it out there. Thank you for listening. Look forward to your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.